Oh yes, Danhausen here. Very nice, very evil, very famous. You are watching the channel that is very nice and very evil. The Nation Network. Isn't that good? Yes, it's true. If you are not watching the Nation Network housing, you are... Wait for it. Wait for it. Cursed.
Good afternoon, wrestling fans, and welcome right back here to the Nation Network. This is House of Honor, and it's always a special night when the champion's in attendance, and tonight he'll be in action in a non-title match. Also, the Women's Liberty Champion will be here, and we're going to take a look right now as we kick things off with the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championship here at House of Honor.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring at a combined weight of 405 pounds.
We take a look at Los Toros Muertos. They are the #1 contenders, and tonight they have a chance to show everybody why they are.
Well, not only are they going to be showing why they are the #1 contenders, they're going to be going up against members of the next 2 contenders team. It's a very interesting mix that's taking place here tonight. Rather than going up against the Towers of Power or Northern Lightning, it'll be one member of each team.
Weighing in at 260 pounds.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what went into the booking of this one, but I thought it was interesting when I saw it on the paper.
If we take a look at Tom Towers making his way down the aisle, his normal tag team partner, of course, will not be his partner here tonight. Instead, it'll be a member of Northern Lightning.
Well, I'd have to say that Los Toros has the advantage in this scenario because they are the normal tag team with their partners each way. As we take a look at the former pro basketball player turned professional wrestler here in Tom Towers.
Got a lot of champions in the house here tonight. Starting it out with the #1 contenders as we take a look now at Flash Elliott.
Weighing in at 228 pounds.
Representing Northern Lightning. And again, very interesting booking in this situation to have, instead of one team or the other going up against Los Toros, we now see one member of each team being thrown together. And funny thing about that is these other 2 teams here between Northern Lightning and the Towers of Power, they themselves have had a series of matches going head-to-head.
Well, everybody wants that #1 spot, and the way you do that is you go against the best teams out there and you get wins. I'm not sure either one of these guys is thrilled with this matchup.
Referees get ready, and he calls for the bell. Action's underway. There's going to be a sizable difference anytime Tom Towers is in the ring against Los Toros, but we have seen them take on bigger teams and come out on top. Goes for the belly-to-back suplex and a quick pin attempt a little bit early on. And now it is Los Hasos with the divorce court as he goes to work on the arm and now turns his attention to Elliott. Oh, and he got the big man up and rolls through, goes for the cover, hooks the leg. Look at this.
Flash Elliott was in there, wasn't sure if he wanted to make the save, it looked like. Some hesitation.
Well, that's the thing we're going to find out. Can these two guys connect? Can they gel enough to pull out a win over the number one contenders here tonight? Stiff forearm right across the jawline, and I'll tell you what, Los Hasos done pretty well for himself, and now Corona just got caught on the floor. And there goes Flash Elliott. Now back to the ring we have, and Los Hasos with the flying head scissor, and Tom Towers goes for the ride. Drops him with a DDT. I've got to say, Los Hasos has done very well overcoming the size and strength advantage of Tom Towers thus far.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how well he's done with it.
And a devastating neck breaker delivered. Going for the cover now. Thinks he might have him.
Well, Flash Elliott thought he might have him too, so he decided to run in and break up the pin attempt.
La Corona sending him to the floor now from the top rope. Los Hasos, what has he got in mind? Hurricane Rana goes for the cover. Will that be enough for the victory?
Oh, that was close.
2 3/4 count. Tom Towers has yet to make a tag out.
Well, I was just about to say neither team has, but that has just changed.
Oh my goodness! La Corona went for the suicide dive and he completely missed.
Makes up for it now, though. Nice drop kick taking Elliott off.
In the meantime, Jesus and Towers continue their battle outside the ring, but it is Corona that is the legal man for Los Toros Muertos. Nice back heel kick right to the face. Down he goes. Going for the cover. Let's see if that's enough to get the win. He does! What an impressive victory. They never even allowed a tag to be made.
Well, you're with number one contenders, and that's not by... Oh, look at this!
Here come the champions to make a statement.
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer.
We haven't talked about race. This was a whitewash.
A Fox 10 News alert out of Phoenix, where Republican Carrie Lake has filed an election-related lawsuit.
It was unprovoked, but this is what Russian President Vladimir Putin unleashed on Ukraine.
Today we witnessed the most evil and heinous abuse of power in the history of our country. A corrupt sitting president had his top political opponent arrested on fake and fabricated charges.
All right, God save the Queen, man.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from San Diego, California, weighing in 199 pounds.
As we take a look at the Rave Kid making his entrance here. Gonna have a big challenge ahead of him here on this Father's Day edition of House of Honor Wrestling on the Nation Network. Want to welcome everyone joining us here live tonight for all of the excitement and action. What we just saw in our opening contest, just a sign of things to come.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Los Muertos looked amazing in that match. Now, we got to be honest. We had two guys out there that were never tag team partners. Clearly didn't want to be tag team partners. But Los Muertos made short work. Very impressive outing. And then all of a sudden, attacked by the champions from behind. The Dice Brothers just took him out with those tag team titles.
And his opponent from Hackensack, New Jersey, weighing in at 225 pounds, Chris Cannon Dino.
Well, I've got a funny feeling come June 26th at Riptide, those tag team championships might not be so secure. As we take a look at the newcomer here to House of Honor, Chris Candido, shocked the world a little over a week ago, coming out and challenging Rock Ripley.
Well, we're going to have Ripley in a match later on tonight, but Candido right now realizing he's going to have to get a couple of wins under his belt before he can get up there and take on Rock Ripley for a title match.
Size, strength about even with these two men. Rave Kid might have a slight advantage on speed. It's a very good matchup for Candido to get himself acclimated with the atmosphere right here in House of Honor Wrestling as part of Ultra Pro. Has him up in the air, holds him up there for that suplex.
He's holding him up there for a long time, too. The blood rushes to the head.
And he drops him right out in the middle of the ring. And now Candido. Big right hand and down again goes the Rave Kid. This young man has done pretty well for himself here at House of Honor since joining us.
Fans love this guy. He's flashy, he's fun. But at the end of the day, you got to get the wins on the board. And he's had a few back and forth matches. Let's just put it that way. Well, I'll tell you, never rule him out.
Candido lining up that elbow and just drives it right into the head. Candido, a wily veteran. He knows the ins and outs of the squared circle. He knows how to maneuver himself, keep a blind spot to the referee when necessary, because we know one thing about Candido. He is not above bending, if not all out breaking the rules given any opportunity.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that's going to get it done no matter what. He doesn't care about what people think about him. You want to cheer him, great. You want to boo him, he doesn't care. He just wants the paycheck. And he's made it clear he wants the championship here.
Went for the springboard, nobody home. Irish with Candido to the ropes, back out front. Arm drag, deep one as that.
A lot of centrifugal force over that one. And now look at this, Rave Kid getting a little of what he gives. Candido with that float over DDT just drops him right where he was standing.
Well, the standing isn't the problem. And look at this, he's caught him. Roll up. 2 3/4 count. Rave Kid almost pulled it out.
Again, that devastating right hand. Candido's got a tough right hand.
Irish whip again to the ropes. Back out front, leapfrog. Tilt-a-whirl, backbreaker, and now Candido. They lock up again in the middle of the ring. There's the Irish whip one more time. Another deep arm drag, and Candido's going to roll out to the floor this time. Oh, he went for it. Rave Kid with the Tope Suicida, and he missed.
He wiped out. Terminology that he'll understand. That was a wipeout. It's high risk, high reward when it works.
Candido returning the favor here on the floor for what almost was. Candido back inside the ring. He wants a victory tonight, no doubt about it. Big clothesline, and down he goes. Again, going for that springboard and coming up empty. Candido has him in the corner. What's he got in mind now? Candido going up to the top. Oh, this could be it. This could be it.
If he hits with this one, it's a blonde bombshell.
He does. Hook of the leg, and I think that's going to be it for the Rave. Oh, he kicked out. The Rave Kid kicked out.
Did you see the look on the face of Candido? He couldn't believe it.
Flying head scissor down, the Rave Kid taking Candido down. This crowd on its feet cheering him on.
Well, we mentioned earlier that this crowd is going to be behind the Rave Kid.
Candido now, what's he got in mind here? Oh, no!
That is a devastating maneuver.
And Candido now choking him out in the corner, making him pay the price.
Got that 5 count. You see him looking at the referee saying, I broke it up. I broke it up.
Candido now going after that knee again that he just took. Goes after the figure 4 leg lock. Will that be enough?
Candido has it in deep. The Rave Kid is able to turn it. Yes, he does. And Candido's going to have to release the hold.
Once that move is reversed, you have to release that hold or it'll pop your own knee. And Candido's had some leg injuries over his career. A couple serious ones at that. As we still do the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker down across the knee. Nice move right there by Candido to avoid the offense. And another DDT. Pop-up power bomb. Hooks the leg and Candido thinks it's over. It is. Very impressive victory for Chris Candido here this week in part of House of Honor. As the action just keeps on building up. As we take a look back at the replay of this one, ladies and gentlemen, as a heat wave grips the southeast of the United States, things are heating up even more indoors as we head to the great month of July, where we will be part of the red, white, and bruised. All right, fans, ready for our next match. What a night it's already been here.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Borger, Texas, weighing in at 237 pounds.
Noticeable by her absence, Amber Lynn, as we see Chad Maverick heading down to the ring for competition here tonight. Fans, we understand there's technical difficulties. That is not something we have any control over in this situation. We are recording this program. If there should be a major disruption along the way, we will post it in its entirety later on.
Fine folks at YouTube doing what they do best.
And here comes his opponent, the very popular Kike Ramirez.
Weighing in at 215 pounds.
Kike Ramirez indeed is very popular. We saw him coming up on the short end of the stick against Chris Candido last week. But he gave him a hell of a run for his money, and it's not going to get any easier for Kike, I beg your pardon, this week, as he gets ready to go up against Chad Maverick. And Chad is a massive man. He's over 6'6". Tall Texas country tough.
Indeed, Texas tough. Chad Maverick, that is about all you need to know about this man. And he uses that size and that frame with a little bit of reckless abandon sometimes.
Well, reckless abandon to his opponent. That's the key there. He doesn't put himself in jeopardy too often. But he will absolutely mash right through an opposition, and that's what I think he's going to try and do right here as he uses that top rope to choke out Kike Ramirez.
There's the headbutt, and Kike down again. Once again, I want to welcome everyone joining us here on this Father's Day edition of House of Honor. Happy Father's Day for everyone out there. DHW in the house. Kevin Davis joining us as well. M-Hawk is here. Once again, collar and elbow tie up. And Ramirez to the turnbuckle. There's that big clothesline.
Maverick's had a lot of luck with that big lariat of his. Patterns it after some of the greats of all time.
Well, of course, Stan the Lariat Hansen, he claims to be his role model as he got into professional wrestling. And with the frame he has, I mean, he really can emulate the style of Stan Hansen. He's got the sheer strength, size. He's got a better physique than Hansen ever had, and perhaps a little bit better cardio. He could be even more demonizing, more weaponized, and lethal, if you can even imagine such a thing. But that clothesline of his,
yeah, it ends a match very quickly if it connects. We see him spin guys around in the air with the impact from that thing. It's no joke.
Has him up. And slams Kike Ramirez here on the floor. Referee's count continues. And now Maverick decides to head back inside the squared circle. Ramirez letting the crowd know I'm all right. And gets back in for the count of 8. Now let's see if Kike Ramirez can do something here. Referee just got caught.
Oh, man, Chad Maverick got screwed over right there by the referee.
Kike Ramirez busted open. I don't know when it happened exactly, but there's a lot of blood, and now the claw hold is only going to make the matter worse. Ramirez might have to give it up right now.
I'm telling you, I've seen this guy. He has got some grip. He crushes apples in his bare hands.
Kike Ramirez is going to survive the claw hold somehow. And Chad Maverick releases it. Clothesline sends him all the way over the top rope and crashing to the floor.
Back and forth action here, ladies and gentlemen. Kike Ramirez has overcome a lot of odds just to be standing up at this point in the match.
Maverick with a nice suplex takes him all the way over. Here's the Irish whip again to the ropes. Back out front, drop down, comes back up, went for the back elbow, and Ramirez was ready for that. Schoolboy rolls him up into a sit-out bomb.
Well, I thought he was going to roll him up and go for the pin. Probably just as well. I don't think he had Maverick yet. Went for the clothesline, and Ramirez was ready.
Now going to try and steal one. Kike can gain a lot, I was about to say, from a big win over a big man like Chad Maverick here. Maverick hanging on to the middle rope. Kike, springboard dropkick sends him to the floor. Maverick's in the ring. Kike now joining him in the ring. Momentum starting to go the way of Ramirez, who gets the big man up. Devastating neck breaker, and you can see it took a lot out of him. Is it enough for a victory? There's one, there's two.
Maverick is really having to reach deep down inside early on in this one. He had this match completely going his way. Holy smokes!
Ramirez with a launch off the top rope. And there it is. He's got him stretched. Chad Maverick's going to have to figure out something here.
Well, here's where the size and strength advantage helps out. Maverick able to get out of that.
Big neck breaker, and now, once again, there's the claw hold. Ramirez survived it once. Will he be able to survive it again? We'll find out in just a moment.
Referee is right there to ask him if he wants to give it up.
Maverick putting all the pressure right on the temple region. Oh, and he made it to the ropes just in the nick of time. Oh, these two guys really taking it out of one another. Maverick was looking for a DDT. Kike Ramirez able to block that one. And now Maverick has him up. Couldn't hold him. Nice reversal. And now Ramirez has him on the shoulder roll.
Got him with that tumbleweed. Now the question is, what is he going to do to put him away?
Into the turnbuckle, and Chad Maverick with a big chop and another one. And now targeting the left knee of Kike Ramirez.
Ramirez is dazed, and Maverick is just, I don't know if he's mocking him, if he's getting in his head.
Here comes a pump handle powerbomb. Oh, there's the clothesline. The lariat just took Kike out, and that's going to be the match right there, 2 and make it 3.
Chad Maverick does what he does best. Big victory over Kike Ramirez.
Well, hold the phone just a moment. Doesn't look like he's happy with a win as he continues to delve out additional punishment. Fans, we'll be back in just a moment. Remember, on June 28th, you can join us right here at midnight.
AEW Fight Forever was revealed to the world. I can't believe what I just saw! And the reaction was nothing short of spectacular. Bring it! Let's see it! I'm better than you! Oh my God! Incredible!
Do you remember the feeling when you could just pick up and play a video game?
That feeling is back.
Are you ready to reignite the magic?
AEW Fight Forever
has deep career modes. You can create your own wrestler, like me.
And use all of my signature moves.
battle it out in some of my favorite matches, like Lights Out.
Falls count anywhere.
And don't forget about the weapons.
All the weapons. Now it's time for you to create your unforgettable moments. AEW Fight Forever, coming soon.
All right, we are back, and now look at this. Ika Tanji going face-to-face with Whitney White. Non-title match, of course. Ika Tanji, the reigning Women's Liberty Champion here in Ultra Pro Wrestling. Referee calls for the bell. And these two ladies right away going to work. Oh, and Ika Tanji mocking Whitney White.
Well, one thing's for sure, these two ladies are going to be meeting on June 26th as part of Riptide, and it is going to be very interesting to see how that turns out.
White has her tied up now in her own version of an abdominal stretch, which is very similar to the octopus that we have seen Ika Tanji use time and time again to secure victories. And now Tanji putting the boots to Whitney White.
Targeted knee strikes right to the solar plex area, and that has got Whitney White down and in trouble.
Splash off the top rope, hook in the leg. She got two. Al and Whitney White having to reach deep down inside to come up with what she needs for that one. And now back down she goes. Stomp right to the chest.
Got a target you can't really miss there, huh?
Drop kick to the back of the head, and now Ika Tanji continues. Since becoming the Women's Liberty Champion, Ika Tanji has really sported an impressive win-loss record. Another drop kick off the top rope, proving why indeed she is the champion. Oh, there's the cutter. Whitney's out.
Her eyes rolled all the way back on the impact from that one.
Slowly getting back up, Ika Tanji ready to pounce. Oh, the elbow strike caught her. There's a clothesline. As the debutante starts to take over, at least for the moment. Tanji went for that patented back kick, this time coming up short. Fireman carry nicely executed right there. And continues to go to work on the arm of Ika Tanji. Turns her over. And has her. Scorpion deathlock right there, we'll see.
Whitney White trying to draw submission from the Women's Liberty Champion, and what a big win that would be. Not only just to beat the champion, but to get her to submit.
The two collide, nobody gaining the advantage on that one, but wow, Ika Tanji just took her down. Hooks the leg, it's 1, 2.
Ika Tanji thought she had enough to, oh, look out, there's the mist.
More accurately, the ink. And if you're Whitney White, you got to make sure you don't get that in your face, because if she uses it, German suplex by the champion, nicely done. You know, while the title might not be on the line here tonight, Ika Tanji treats each and every match as if it were. Went for the missile dropkick, and this time Whitney White sidesteps. Series that kicks to the midsection, follows it up with a clothesline, nicely executed. Goes for the cover and hooks the leg, it's 2. Ika Tanji out the back door.
Both of these ladies have been very close to securing a big win here tonight, but neither one has been able to put the finishing touches on it.
Thrown back under the bottom rope. And Ika Tanji going to take her time getting back in the ring as she walks it off. Oh, she caught her! Whitney White just caught her with a face buster!
Oh man, the shoulder up. But Ika Tanji is rocked.
From out of nowhere. Another big right hand, and down goes Ika Tanji to the floor. What a match these two ladies have been putting on here tonight. Whitney White once again attacking the knee. Oh, head first into our table.
You're right. Somebody better tell them it's not a title match, because the way they are fighting it here tonight, you would think everything were on the line.
Right now, the only thing on the line here tonight, bragging rights. But come the 26th of June, it'll be a lot more than that. Now from the top rope. Connects with the elbow drop.
That hurt the back. You can tell, and now she's going to go right to the octopus.
That's a 1-2 punch right there, and she's going to force her to tap out. Once again, another very impressive victory right here by Ika Tanji. And look at Whitney White. Frustration on the face. These two ladies are going to be competing. Look at Whitney White, doesn't want anything to do with a champion. June 26th, the title will be on the line, and will Whitney White be able to overcome this loss?
It's time to grab your popcorn and your soda. Get your favorite candy. And get ready, because we are going to the movies. We're going to be watching and reviewing some of the most iconic movies featuring superstars of the world of professional wrestling. Will it be thumbs up or thumbs down? We'll give you our thoughts, you give us yours. Come check us out as we review some of the greatest titles in its genre. Make sure you check out the Nation Network as we take you to the movies.
All right, fans, time for the main event. Hold on just a second. What's going on here? Oh, Chris Candido back for more.
Candido coming down to ringside. What's his opinion? What's his reason, I should say, for being down here? I have no idea.
He's pointing over here to ringside as though he just wants to get a closer look at the action. Rock Ripley not too happy to see Candido here, as he's going to already have a lot to deal with this big Jamal Jazeer. 1/3 of the Axis of Evil. And there's a boot to the face by Jazeer. Went for that running knee, and this monstrosity. Look at him overpowering the champion, making it look easy. Rock Ripley, not a small man.
No, he's not a small man, but take a look at this guy. You're talking about a monster. Jazeer is all that and then some.
Ripley now Sends him over the top rope and to the floor. Rock Ripley having a hard time putting any offense together. Big knee lifted him right up off the floor.
These are some incredible body blows in the champ. This is a non-title match, but I'll tell you what. He is taking a whopping.
As you see, Jamal Jazeer going it on his own here tonight. Mighty Mouth Mike McElroy absent from ringside, very unusual when one of his proteges would be in the ring. You would think he would be there to make sure things go his way.
Well, he might just have that much confidence in the abilities of Jamal. Oh, there's a boot to the face.
And now Ripley with a clothesline with no effect. And there's a neck breaker, and he finally gets the big man off his feet. Jamal back up again. Oh man, what a kick to the face. And now he is shouting at the champion.
Well, the House of Honor champion chose this match. For what reason, I have no idea.
Ripley rolling out to the ringside area. Not sure that's the place to be right here. Swing and a miss. And now they'll both make their way back in. Look at Jamal just dominating the champion here tonight. There's that clothesline.
Jazeer just chilling out, hanging back, letting Ripley bring the fight to him, and he is just dismantling the champion here tonight.
Went for the cover. No, he pulls him back up.
Not sure that's a smart move on the part of Jamal Jazeer right here. If you can put the champ down, I say you go for it.
Well, if Mike McElroy were here, I think he'd probably tell him he should be going for it as well, but he's not. Oh, look at Ripley! With that float over neck breaker for the second time now tonight, able to get himself a little bit of an advantage booked up here. And now Ripley has him in the clutch. One count. And Jamal able to kick out of that relatively easily. And again, nobody home. Big boot to the face, and this beating just continues.
Jamal Jazeer wants him up. And he's going to help him.
Ripley up and down with a skyscraper suplex right there by the big man. 7 foot tall. 300 plus pounds. This is a monster among men, and he is one of the leading weapons in the Axis of Evil. Back heel kick, and now what's going on here? He's got him down. Candido, what's he doing? Candido's taking the championship belt.
He's got a hold of the House of Honor World Heavyweight Championship, and now there's a battle here ringside for the title.
Oh, and Ripley just got laid out. Jamal Jazeer looking down at the champion who is motionless. Rock Ripley might not be able to answer the count.
Chris Candido tried to steal the House of Honor Heavyweight Championship. Distracted Rock Ripley. I don't think he's getting up. Doesn't look like it, that's for sure. Jamal Jazeer is going to get the win after knocking him out cold. Unbelievable turn of events taking place here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Want to thank you for joining us here tonight. We'll be back with plenty more Ultra Pro Wrestling action here on the Nation Network. Join us, of course, tomorrow for Monday Night Blast, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. Until then, have a great night, and so long from ringside.